From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for the debate.
Staying with us here on the debate. You've heard Arnab say this multiple times, that the truth has a way of coming out. In fact, we say it and we believe in it, we live by it and we will die by it. But tonight, as representatives of Republic Media Network, we are here as Arnab's voice, and we come to you armed with facts. And today, as more and more details emerge, as more and more observations are made, as more and more judgments come out, the fake cases are also falling like a pack of cards. There are legal developments. We'll tell you all about that.
Hansa Research has made a stunning disclosure in court. The CBI has a physical copy of the witness coercion tapes, and now there are more shocking details of a pre-planned operation to arrest Arnab, and these details are out in the public domain. The people of this country are watching. The courts have taken note, and very soon the conspirators will be made accountable in the courts of public opinion. Take a look. At 4:30 p.m., Op India's Ajit Bharti walked out of the CBI office in Delhi after handing over the witness coercion tapes in the alleged TRP manipulation scam.
How Mumbai police has been, hounding Republic TV, and personally, if you want to say that Arnab was hounded. So it has been you can say, personal vendetta against Arnab that has been going on for like 6 months. Because if you had Republic's name in the FIR, you could have taken the name, but it doesn't exist in the FIR. The name of India Today existed. You didn't take that.
One after the other, facts are bludgeoning fake cases filed against Republic Media Network. These tapes that are now in the possession of the central agency have revealed how witnesses were coerced into naming your channel.
अगर उन्हें मार और पड़ी हो कहीं तो कबूला है कि यार भारत वाले का ही वो कैसे कहते उन्होंने ना पेपर पर लिख गए हैं यार भारत का हाँ और फिर पुलिस वाले दरवाजे आज ही डिपार्टमेंट आ रहे हैं दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट क्या हुई.
So malicious has been the state-sponsored vendetta against Arnab that even the complainant in the case, which is Hansa Research, has informed the court that they've been forced to name Republic. They've named the cop who was part of the execution squad of Operation Arnab.
Hansa has said that they face threat by encounter cop Sachin Vaze to implicate Republic TV. Vaze wanted Hansa to say Republic aired a fake report. And I was called, and some of our colleagues were called to be questioned on this Hansa report, saying, where did you get the report from? Hansa has filed a writ petition saying they were under pressure from the crime branch to call the report fake.
They tried besmirching Republic Media Network's reputation with lies, propaganda and plants. Arnab showed them documents, presented before the world the company's book of accounts.
This is the book of accounts. This is the book of accounts. It says Hansa Vision Limited, phone number, state, country. Please see this. And it says here net value. We've done the calculation. And 31,61,054 rupees. 31,61,054 rupees. This is the money we got. This money we got. This is advertising money. Please see here.
We've cooperated with investigators. Our editors have complied with summons. We followed the legal process at every step. In hours from now, the High Court will once again resume hearing Arnab's plea challenging the illegal arrest. He will spend another night in judicial custody. But the message is clear. Any attempt to stifle democracy won't be tolerated.
प्रेस की स्वतंत्रता को किसी भी पार्टी या सरकार ने बाधित नहीं करना चाहिए, मगर कांग्रेस का इमरजेंसी के समय से एक कल्चर रहा है, एक संस्कृति रही है. हम इसके विरुद्ध है और मेरी पार्टी ने भी इस पर कड़ी प्रतिक्रिया जाहिर की है कि ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए.
In the fight against fake cases, it's the truth versus a state machinery's malicious vendetta. Let's debate.
Joining us on the debate at 10 p.m, Sardar RP Singh, national spokesperson of the BJP. Rabia Khan, who's the mother of Jia Khan, joining us live this evening. Thank you, Rabia ji, for joining us. Major General G.D. Bakshi, a defense expert. Mamta Kale, political analyst. Lord Rami Ranger, who's a member of the House of Lords and founder Sanmark, joining us live from London this evening. Thank you, Lord Ranger, for being with us. Prachi Sharma, who's a model and actor, live from Delhi. Kartikeya Tanna, who's a political commentator and lawyer, joining us live from Miami. He's been watching the developments. In fact, we were on a debate. He was live when we were covering the elections at 3 a.m. day before yesterday.
That is correct.
When Abhishek and me were in the studio starting 3 a.m. and we got the news at 6 a.m. And Ram Kadam,
and I told Kartikeya the election might go to the Supreme Court.
You are right.
Everyone's in the courts.
Right.
And Ram,
let's see.
Yeah, Ram Kadam, who's a BJP legislator who was holding a hunger strike outside the Mantralaya in Mumbai, was stopped. He was also rounded up and taken in a police van this evening. He was not allowed to protest in Mumbai. Okay, that said, there are certain developments, and I want to bring in Sardar RP Singh to make the opening comments. Sardar RP Singh, there are 3 or 4 cases. Okay, now you look at all the cases. Let me tell you what's happening. For all our viewers who are joining us, little bit about all the cases that we are facing and what's the development. Let me give you a perspective from the newsroom here at Republic TV. Rhythm can come in. She's the executive editor of Legal Affairs. Abhishek Kapoor is the senior executive editor, and Sagarika is the editor of Output. We know the news, we do the news for a living, we live and breathe news, we wake up, sleep, go to sleep, just looking at the news, okay? Cases so far and where they stand. On the TRP case, Sardar RP Singh, TRP case, what happened to it? FIR was filed, another channel was named based on a Hansa complaint. The police commissioner within 24 hours did not name that channel but named Republic TV. And then Republic TV was called in the TRP case. Our distribution, CFO, everybody was called. I was called, and Abhishek was called. Not in this case, Sagarika was also called, but Abhishek was called on this particular case. We were asked, where did you get the Hansa report from? Because Hansa claims the report is fake. We were told by the crime branch officers sitting opposite us on a table, where did you get this from? Hansa claims it's a fake report. We were questioned. I was questioned for at least 17 hours. Abhishek was questioned for about 7 to 8 hours in that particular case. Okay, that's the TRP case. It's falling apart. Police commissioner started by saying 400 rupees, became 32 lakh rupees taken by Hansa, didn't find anything, and then it became 11 lakh rupees hawala, right? So the case is falling apart. Secondly, as far as the privilege motion, the privilege notice is concerned, you all know what happened at 9 o'clock. Rhythm and Abhishek were in the studios. You debated it, looked at it in great detail, right? Even the Chief Justice of India is furious about what's happening, right? And look at what's happening in the case of this 2018 suicide, this abetment to so-called abetment to suicide case. The Chief Judicial Magistrate of the CJM has called it an illegal arrest, saying there is nothing to link the accused to the suicide itself, while asking, how is it that the mother of the man who was owed the money committed suicide? There is no link. The entire evidence is in front of the court. Now, those are 3 cases. And let me tell you, on an aside, Abhishek and Rhythm, I don't know whether I've told you this, but one of the officers, I won't name the officer because I'll be called again and they will tell me that and they'll ask me for a source. But let me tell you, one of the officers in the last few days, while speaking to these officers, they told me, when I told them that, the cases that they're filing against us, yesterday they called me once again to be questioned on the case of the officers, the story that we carried. They wanted to know where is the proof that officers have told you, who are these people, right? And when I was upset, and in the last few days I've been speaking to different officers, right? One of them told me that if you strongly believe that this does not stand, why don't you challenge it in the court? We told them that this too has been challenged in the court. And on an aside, final point, and I'm handing it over to Sardar RP Singh. The same officer told me that 2 other cases, one, the Paidani case, the second, the Bandra case, he told me the cases, the FIRs are almost quashed. It's over. Okay, so we at the Republic Media Network have been saying all these fake cases will fall apart, and they're all falling apart. Today is the 6th of November. Mark this date, that on the 6th of November we are telling you all of these cases are going to collapse because the facts are going to come out. Sardar RP Singh, I want your opening comment on whatever is happening. The truth is coming out. Sadly, in the process of getting the truth out, all of us, the entire Republic Media Network is being victimized. My editor-in-chief is inside a cell right now.
Let me start with this. Abhishek here is an old hand, and he will know how things has happened in 87 and 88. If you remember, Indian Express, 240 cases, false cases are filed because they are asking 10 questions every day. Ram Jethmalani used to ask 10 questions every day to Rajiv Gandhi on his corruption issues. So let's understand, I mean, you can keep working on case by case. We have to fight till last. You will have to fight till this government goes. I'm purely saying by the political dimension. Legally, you be prepared. They filed another case against Arnab on account of that he resisted his arrest. So they'll keep finding on flimsy grounds to keep harassing you. I'll appreciate nation should stand by you, not only in terms of giving you moral support. I don't know how do we work it out, but they need to come out with the financial support, because this is a war which has to be fought with a terrain government, with a government which has a DNA led by a Gandhi family which has done this again and again. Whether it's Indira Gandhi, I told you case of Rajiv Gandhi in 87, 88. I myself fought with the complete gang of goons who wanted to clamp Express that time. So this is a war we have to all fight together. And I'm appealing to the nation through your channel also, that we should not only morally, but also ensure how do we work it out, I don't know, but we have to stand with you and ensure that whoever can contribute in whatever fashion, not merely by lip service or not merely by demonstrations and otherwise. People who are good legal luminaries, it is a call for them. People who can do a lot of social networking, who are good at social networking, they need to come forward and form a group. And then they're already doing it, but a lot more effort need to go. And this has to be fought till the time this government goes in the Maharashtra. It's not because they are the opponent government, because they are government which is not abiding by the rule of law, not abiding by the constitution. So that's why they have to go. Not because I'm saying because I'm a BJP and I'm at this point is a Shiv Sena government or a Congress government or a Ghadi government. Because this government is not following the constitution. A government which doesn't follow the constitution must go. And this fight will be on till the time this government goes. Because now this is to be at the different level now.
Yeah.
It can't be done at a TV studio. I mean, TV studios can play a role. Social media will play a role.
No, but that's not. But Sardar RP Singh, you know, as journalists, it's not our. We have nothing to do with governments coming and governments going. But you know, I'm just angry. I'm angry, and so is everybody else in our newsroom. Sagarika is angry.
Yeah.
Abhishek is angry. Rhythm is angry. The people watching are angry. If you think people are fools or people are stupid, that are ill-informed, that they won't understand, you're wrong, because the kind of perception that is out there is self-explanatory. People are seeing through what's happening here, right? Let me take that question, and then my colleagues can take it forward.
Can I add one small point?
Okay, go ahead, and then Sagarika will take it forward. Okay.
Very small point.
Yeah.
I still remember that editorial of Mr. Shori which was there, and it mentioned the first editorial when the paper came out after 1 month closure. It was dam hai kitna daman mein tere, dekh liya aur dekhenge. It was a English editorial. I mean, the heading was from the Hindi, and it said dam hai kitna daman mein tere, aur dekh liya aur dekhenge. So you have to fight with the spread. And then I'm saying you today, nation is with Arnab, with the public, because we know you are fighting for righteous cause.
Rabia ji, I want to come to you. you've been seeing the kind of, it's become a movement. And like we've been saying, our Arnab today, Arnab's fight today is symbolizing a larger fight. There are people who are out on the streets. There are slogans, Arnab tum sangharsh karo, hum tumhare saath hai. We've seen veterans pour onto the streets. We've seen journalists protest from their newsrooms. You have also faced injustice in the hands of a system that connived. You have been with Arnab when he raised the voice for justice when it comes to your daughter. Today, when you see a movement like this, today when you see those pictures, the way Arnab was dragged, and why? Because he chose to question, he chose to ask uncomfortable questions. Today, facts are out. The original complainant in the case has filed a writ petition in the High Court, going on to name cops who have in fact also tried unleashing torture on them to force them to name Republic. As someone who has also been fighting for justice, what do you have to say, Rabia ji?
I'm sorry. Ever since I heard this, I've had sleepless nights. One man who was raising his voice against injustice is put behind bars. I am so overwhelmed, and I'm just praying constantly. I have to say that it's a height of injustice, tyranny, dictatorship, cruelty towards our common people who are fighting for justice and who are fighting for the vulnerable, who are fighting. I am so overwhelmed that I have no words, but I invoke everyone that just tweeting and just social media is not enough. I wish I was in India, that I would have been on the street with slogans and roaring and shouting and screaming and asking them to release Arnab right now. And I have to say that where was NCP governor when I am crying for last 8 years for my daughter who has been murdered? Where is the Maha government? Every time CBI proposes to further investigation, they put pressure, they sabotage, they destroy evidences, they hide them, and they want to shut the case. It is me who is going every time to High Court, Supreme Court, from pillar to post and fighting for 8 years. This time when I could tell the people through Arnab that this is what my situation is, this is how my case is being closed and shut, that time nobody is raising voice. And today that Nayak family whose mother was murdered and he was found committed suicide, I mean it looks very like a hypothesis story to me. There is no evidence and nothing, and Arnab has been held and they are opening that case. My case is going on. Why? I am angry, I am in pain, I am in agony. I want to tell everyone that Rabia Khan was murdered and they want to say that it is suicide. Do you understand? Probably Nayak was murdered and they are putting a suicide charges. This is what my plea to everyone, that please scream and pray for Arnab. He should be out straight away. I just don't know what to say.
Niranjan, we've heard these voices. We've actually heard people come out and say that we feel voiceless today. This is Arnab's studio. It is from here that he's led the voice for the people of this country. Rabia ji's tears today, Rabia ji's grief today is a reflection of what thousands and thousands of people are feeling. Major General G.D. Bakshi, you've also been out on the streets. You've actually dared those who tried to attack our democracy with these despotic ways. You've sent them a message. Today we've come to the people of this country, we've come here as the representatives of Republic Media Network, as Arnab's voice, with facts. There is a 37-page writ petition with us, Major General Bakshi, and in that I will read out one or two of the points that have been made by Hansa Research, which is the original complainant in the alleged TRP manipulation case, a fake case against Republic Media Network. They go on to say that they were asked to say that the purported Hansa report shown on Republic was fake. Pressurized, threatened, harassing petitioners with arrest and indefinite detention. Constant FIR threat by Sachin Vaze for naming one channel in the complaint. This is what has been happening, Major General Bakshi.
Just before this, the expat community of Indians in the United States, they held a webinar with me and they wanted to know just what the hell is going on back home in India. Is emergency 2.0 being declared by a state government? What jurisdiction has a state government to declare emergency in the whole damned country? Look, what are the foundational freedoms that we have? We have the freedom of expression, we have the freedom of the press, which distinguishes us from Xi Jinping's China and that monstrosity of a country called Pakistan. Journalists are picked up there at night, they are tortured, they are killed, and their bodies are thrown on the roads. You want to reduce this country to that? And you have just won by default, by all kinds of maneuvers. You have managed to put yourself in a state government, and you have the gall, the cheek to declare an emergency that deprives you and me, each and every one of us. It is not just a question of Arnab. It is the question of an institution. Today he is a very senior, respected editor of one of the most popular news channels in this country, if not the most popular. And he can just be treated like a ragamuffin. He can just be picked up, pushed, beaten, hurt, thrashed. What the hell is going on? You think the rest of Indians are fools? We do not have eyes, we do not hear, we do not have the intellect to see what is going on. The cause-effect chain is crystal clear. What led to what is crystal clear.
Yeah.
If there is a worse case of blatant vendetta, I have yet to see it. And I'm surprised the courts have taken so much time. But I'm sure the wheels of the law grind slowly but surely. And I'm sure their game is up, their days are numbered. Because they cannot cock a snook at the central government, they cannot cock a snook at the Supreme Court and the lesser courts here. They cannot tell you that we are going to conduct a mafia raj around here. We'll kill whosoever we want to, and there will be a spate of suicides in Mumbai and Maharashtra.
Yeah.
We will put behind the bars anybody that we choose to. We will demolish the house of any woman who dares to oppose. Look, you want to be in a democratic dispensation, you better develop a thick hide. For you to say, I am above all criticism, all that I expect is kirtan and bhajan and washing my feet and drinking the charanamrit. You are pushing it beyond a point. You think 1.3 billion Indians are fools? They are going to just put on a platter their freedoms of expression, their right to life and liberty, Article 19, Article 21, foundational freedoms. And you want to tamper with them when you are not even in the center. अभी तो पहुंचे नहीं साहब वहां पे और emergency 2.0 लगा रहे हैं. We have seen emergency 1.0. I was there. We saw how the courts lost their spines. We saw how the rest of the press, apart from the Indian Express, kowtowed. When asked to bend, they crawled. But we have learnt our lesson. We also saw that in 1971, the Bachda and his Amma were thrown out. The Bachda and his Amma were thrown out. Alright? And then there was the Shah Commission, which went into the conduct of civil servants and, a whole lot of people who had connived, who had bent over backwards to accommodate, to supplicate, to cringe with terror. The Indian people have learned their lesson. This is 2020. This is not 1975. The Supreme Court has already started passing the scriptures.
The point that we also make here when we make this point,
BRICS, I'm sure.
Major Bakshi, exactly. And you know, I remember that picture that I just remember two images here, Major Bakshi. I remember you standing there and protesting for Arnab a few days ago, one of those few people in solidarity on that day when you were standing there at that point, and then slowly I saw people joining you. I have that image with me, and I also have on that side Rabia ji crying on that side, emotional, because I remember when Arnab took on her fight, we remember that day on the debate when he said, Rabia, I will be fighting for Jia also. And we tried to see what was happening in that case also, and we promised Rabia ji that this is a case we will look at. And I'm trying to understand why the Maharashtra government, why the Mumbai police only came after us, Major Bakshi. Mamta Kale, I'll also ask you this. Because we spoke up for these people, because we spoke up to have certain cases in which the Mumbai police and the Maharashtra government didn't want to invest, we opened them up. Whether it was the SSR case where I've heard in hushed circles the Mumbai police's botched up investigation be spoken of, or whether the fact the Supreme Court had the CBI look into it, whether it was these other cases, Rabia ji, you spoke yourself about it and we took up that fight. And I think this is the main reason, Major Bakshi, that they've come behind Arnab, that he's spending his third night in JC. And that's what Mamta Kale, I want to ask you today. Is every honest journalist, and by the way, Major Bakshi also spoke about S. Gurumurthy, who was the original fighter in the Indian Express case. He's also spoken about how this is emergency. So Mamta Kale, the question here is, will every independent journalist in the state of Maharashtra be treated like this?
Ridham, first of all, a grand salute to Arnab and to each one of you. I had thought that I am going to really bring up a lot of points and going to talk about them. But after hearing Rabia ji, you know, I am choked, completely choked, and I'm sorry if I'm, you know, sounding a bit emotional. But it's actually very disheartening, even for me, to see Arnab under judicial custody for third consecutive day. You know, every day I wait for the High Court proceedings to begin, and, you know, keep my fingers crossed and wait that, you know, I'll get to see Arnab coming out. And I wait for last 3 days, I have been waiting eagerly to debate with Arnab Goswami. I know he's a brave man, he's a son of a army officer, and he will come out victorious, and we all stand in full solidarity with him. I have been on roads yesterday. We are protesting and doing everything, and I completely identify and agree with Rabia ji when she says that it's not only just about tweeting. There are crores and crores of people on road, but whoever has not come or who feel that they should be supporting Arnab, even from the roads, I request them with folded hands that come out. It is now or never. Let me tell everyone that Arnab Goswami is fighting for all of us. He is fighting for truth. He is fighting for Mother India. He is fighting for the right causes. He takes up and speaks up for the right stand. So it is about us. It is about our nation. It is about the future of our coming generation. So Arnab is actually doing a great favor to us. So it becomes our moral duty. If I am going and protesting, talking about Arnab through your channel or through YouTube or through any other medium, I am not doing a favor to any one of you. Let me be very honest. This is a favor which I am doing to myself for my future generation, so that they don't have to suffer this. What we all are seeing, you know, this high-headed, most fascist and most arrogant autocratic government has to be taught a strict and clear lesson, and they should be told in no uncertain words that they really cannot go behind an honest person, honest journalist, just because he is speaking the truth, bringing out all your wrongs and taking you head on. This is no way, and we are not going to take it lying down, no ways. Hats off to you guys, the way you all go and take their questions. Niranjan, you know, my heart broke when I saw you yesterday, those visuals. Again, going to that NM Joshi police station.
Yes.
I mean, why are they troubling you all? Just because they want to break the spirit of each one of you. But they don't know that, you know, you all are actually Arnab Goswami. And they are not only fighting one person, they are fighting each one of you sitting there. And every Indian.
Let me tell you something. they think that if they intimidate us, if they call us to the station 3 or 4 times, ask us questions for 20, 25, 30 hours, 40 hours, our CFO has been questioned for 70 hours already, they feel we will get tired, intimidated and give up. They don't know what we are made of. We have, all of us have worked with Arnab for at least a decade. At least a decade. And there's a reason why we work with Arnab. And that reason, and every day, you know what, we go to sleep very well. We sleep really well because we have a conscience, and our conscience lets us sleep well, knowing that we've done a great work and a service, right? Let me give you some breaking news because you mentioned NM Joshi Marg Police Station. Breaking news is that our CEO has also been summoned again tomorrow. Our CEO has been summoned again tomorrow. That is Vikas Kanchandani has been summoned tomorrow in a case, wait for it, in a case where we were also questioned, Sagarika was also questioned. You know why? Because they asked us for details of all our editorial staff members, of people on the editorial desk. They wanted their names, contact numbers, addresses. We refused to give those details. Sagarika was asked on the source, I was asked on the source. I was asked yesterday to give details. I refused to give the details because I will not compromise my colleagues. I will not allow anybody compromise the newsroom, right? And let me take that question to Lord Rami Ranger. And Lord Rami Ranger, you know, the kind of support that we're getting, you see that number on the bottom of your screens, that number is 18,28,178 or 1.8 million tweets. 1.8 million tweets. That's how many people with access to technology are tweeting, giving their support to Republic TV, to Arnab. Lord Rami Ranger, across the world, when you look at what's happening here, now what goes on, what goes on in your mind? How are you responding to it? How did you respond to it when you saw those pictures?
First of all, I couldn't believe the way Arnab Goswami was arrested. He's not a common criminal. He's a high-profile journalist.
With utmost respect, globally, he should not have been treated the way he has been treated. I mean, there are cases people can bring about against anyone, but the police should have shown some discretion, talk to this gentleman in private, ask questions, and on top of that, to show this kind of brutality is intimidating to all the other journalists who go about their duty underpinning our democracy, rule of law. This is a serious threat to the impartiality of the journalistic standard.
Would this happen in London?
In India, we cherish so dearly. So I think this sends a very wrong signal to the press freedom or to the media that this is the way police can handle a very high-profile, high-class journalist who, you know, we all respect him, we all tune into his program, and you know, the democracy is underpinned by the freedom of press. And if you're going to muzzle that, then I'm sorry, no matter what we do, our rule of law will collapse.
Yeah.
So therefore, I think the police should have released Arnab Goswami instantly because he can be bailed out. To keep him for 3 days just shows there is a personal vendetta. Someone somewhere is now handling this case, and he's doing something beyond the call of duty, because he is no ordinary person. He's not going to skip the country. He's not going to run away.
No,
so I think they should show some respect.
I was going to say, Lord Rami Ranger, that the entire Republic Media Network, everyone who's been summoned so far, we have cooperated and responded to summons and made ourselves available to questioning for over 250 hours. 250 hours.
As I said to you, this case, there's a great deal more to this case than meets the eye. And I think this is now appears from the outside a politically motivated case against a journalist who has the guts, the courage to speak his mind. And also he's doing a service to Mother India. If he's exposing people, and how do you go about doing your job? He is not there to appease people. He has to be devil's advocate. So we respect him because he sticks his neck out for, you know, promoting yourself is the easiest way. promoting a cause is the most difficult one, because they, as you can see, they throw you in jail if you promote a cause. So I'm very disturbed, and the police in Maharashtra should have known better, because they have now exposed themselves that what kind of police force, professional police force they are. They are arresting a very high profile, respected journalist in such a way you won't even arrest a common criminal. And Arnab Goswami will not skip the country, will not leave the country. He will cooperate. He can be invited anytime the police wants. You know, there's a dignity. We have to preserve rule of law. I mean, the police force are there to protect the rights of people, not to abuse the right of people, especially the journalists, because the journalists, as you can see, they do their job, utmost job, impartially. So I'm really shaken, and I'm also feel very sad that it sends a very wrong signal to the other journalists that you be careful. If you highlight an issue which is controversial, you will be meted up with such kind of horrible treatment. So therefore, it's a sad day for Indian democracy. It's a sad day for the journalist freedom in India, and I think it has a very big implication.
It has a chilling
to
effect.
The wider fraternity.
Abhishek.
Niranjan, it has a chilling effect, and that perhaps seems to be the intent. You know, we are discussing the Hansa report, the Hansa writ petition, and what it indicates towards is that the state has been found with its, the Kafkaesque state has been found with its hands in the till in terms of manipulating facts, in terms of suppressing freedom. And if I could draw Karthikeya on that, you know, in India, freedom of expression is available to every citizen of the country. There is no special privilege for the press. The freedom of press that you and I enjoy, Niranjan, is dovetailed into Article 19(1)(a), which is available as a fundamental right to everyone. But what we are seeing panning out, be it the manner in which the Hansa group has been intimidated, the manner in which the Republic Media Network is being hounded, is an attempt at not just compromising yours and mine, Article 19(1)(a) freedom, but also right to life and liberty, both under Article 20 and Article 21. Karthikeya, you are in the United States. There, in fact, the freedom of press is protected, you know, has a special protection with the First Amendment. How do you see the picture sitting from there, the manner in which a journalist, a known journalist, and India's biggest media network is being hounded?
You know, you reminded me that evening, at least my evening, your early morning, we were debating and discussing, you know, India-US relations and what happens if Joe Biden wins, what happens if Trump wins, and all of a sudden the coverage had to stop because there were visuals of police at Arnab's place. And I was shocked. I thought, okay, maybe this might just be a routine inquiry that the police will come, they'll ask him some questions and then go, and then we'll be back on the program. So I was near my laptop. And then I see Republic, and one after the other, there's messages that he's arrested. There's cops with AK-47 and other, you know, weapons outside his place. Apparently, there was a cop that is used for encounters or some special operations.
Yes,
who was in
encounter
charge
cop,
of this.
encounter specialist.
I mean, from what angle is maybe Arnab Goswami is someone who does an encounter. He does an encounter of lies. He does an encounter of, you know, crooks in the government.
When was the last time a journalist was arrested in the United States?
Maybe that's why they needed cops with machine guns, because Arnab's voice is, you know, is equal to the machinery that they've deployed. But, you know, I think this is, obviously the Mumbai police is a caged parrot and a caged puppet of Uddhav Thackeray's government. It is also a henchman. And unfortunately, I'm using the word with responsibility. It is a henchman of this government. You know, if you don't like the channel, change it. If something bothers you, you write an article about it. I mean, Uddhav Thackeray has the platform of the Chief Minister's office. His government has that platform. Why don't they address the nation with facts? If they don't believe, or if they think that what Republic is saying is untrue, why don't they do that? What is this thin-skinned behavior? What is this insecurity, and where does it come from?
You know how much we're trolled,
that needs to be asked.
Karthikeya, you know how much Arnab is trolled day in, day out, every second.
Of course.
You think he cares? Imagine if we were that thin-skinned.
Yes, I mean, and Uddhav Thackeray could have just, ignored it, let it go, or whatever he feels, but, to use the Mumbai police and to reopen a case that was shut down 2 years ago. And I also read that they've arrested the police officer who had actually shut down the case. I mean, what kind of rule of law is this? What kind of message is the financial capital of India sending to the world that a case can be reopened at the drop of a hat with whims and fancies of the elected government, whims and using the police in such an intimidating way? And I have to say, I respect and salute, my respect and salute for Arnab has gone 1,000 times, because when he was arrested, I thought he would be in a disastrous shape, but he was still fighting on his way into the van, being dragged into the van like a terrorist, like a dangerous criminal. And even while in the van, he was raising his hand and giving hope to millions of people who would be subject to this atrocious behavior of the government. And lastly, I just want to make this point. I hope this is not the handiwork of the Maharashtra government to essentially target outsiders, non-Maharashtrians, who are essentially raising a voice against the government. I hope that is not the case, but we see that in Kangana Ranaut, who's from Himachal. We see that in Arnab's case, who's from Assam originally. I hope that's not the case, and I hope this is not a return of the nasty politics that Maharashtra has seen. And also one last point. I am not that old that I was alive during emergency. I wasn't even born during emergency, and I was probably 4 or 5 years old when the Bofors case happened. We know what Major G.D. Bakshi and Sardarji referred to. But now that I see this, I have read about emergency. I have seen documentaries about emergency. But now when we see these visuals, I understand now what emergency was in the 70s and what that Rajiv Gandhi's rule was in the late 80s. I can understand it now. It sends a chill down my spine, and I hope
I can make a short intervention and toss it to Kartikeya. I'll make a short intervention and toss it to Sagarika. You know what? I was going through because we haven't really had the time to catch up with the kind of articles that are being written. So it's in the newsroom. It's standard practice, right? So we just check what people are saying on the internet, right? Yes. And very interestingly, Abhishek, I came across this article because he mentioned the Congress party and the emergency. There was one very interesting article on a portal that is very critical of Republic TV most often. 9 out of 10 times they're critical about Republic TV. You know what? They have a source-based article that they've carried, quoting 2 or 3 very senior Congress leaders in Maharashtra, saying that the Congress in Maharashtra is calling it a case of political vendetta of the Shiv Sena. The irony, I mean, look at the mother of all ironies. The mother of all ironies. Okay, yeah, Sagarika, you want I think Prachi hasn't come in.
I in fact want to ask Prachi, when we hear Rabia ji break down, when she says that today, Arnab, when I met him last, when I spoke to him last, he said he's going to raise the voice in the case that pertains to my daughter. When Mamta chokes while speaking to us, you know what we are reminded of as a team? The day this happened, we as a team haven't even had the time to sit together and actually talk about what we've been going through for days together. We are standing with our heads held high. We are fighting every day. We are coming back because we take pride in what we do. We believe in what we do. Today, we stand in solidarity with our editor-in-chief because we believe in every story that we've done. Prachi, as a citizen of this country, when you see something of this sort, we've heard people say this is emergency 2.0. We've heard people, we've done sting operations where there are ministers who've in fact very casually said things like, what if Arnab commits suicide? This is the kind of conversations we've heard.
Yes, I know.
As a citizen of this country, people have said that if this can happen to Arnab, what will happen to the common man?
All I want to say is that democracy is under threat, and it is atrocious because someone of that stature, a minister, goes on and says that what if Arnab Goswami commits suicide? So this has been happening for past 6 months, and I have been following Republic TV and Our Bharat for almost like 6 months now. It started with Palghar, I remember, then it went on to Sushant Singh Rajput and Disha Salyan's case, and now it is him It is him himself. So this is quite shocking, because I remember I had mentioned this earlier also, that my grandfather, Pandit Umar Sharma, I have mentioned in this the debate that happened on Our Bharat, that my grandfather, Pandit Umar Sharma, was a freedom fighter, and he was one of the freedom fighters who was sent to jail by Indira Gandhi. And Indira Gandhi, that time, the Congress government termed it as Jail Bharo Andolan. So that was an andolan started by Indira Gandhi. So I know my family has personally gone through a lot during the emergency. I know what has happened with Arnab Goswami, sir. And this is utterly atrocious, and it is outrageous, because what happens is the entire now, because we have social media in 2020. This is not 1975. We have social media. People are aware. People are educated. And the youth of the country is educated. So you cannot fool them anymore. You cannot fool them anymore. So there is an outrage. There is public outrage, not within the country. I have been getting calls from California. I have been getting calls from New York. All over the world, I have been getting calls. My friends are sitting in London. They have been calling me up and asking me what's happening in Maharashtra. All I have to tell them is that I'm quite ashamed of the government, because I've lived in Maharashtra for 12 years. And this is what I see in Maharashtra. I've worked in Mumbai, I've worked in Bollywood. And this is what I get to see after 12 years. It's quite disheartening, and it actually annoys me. This is all I have to say
Prachi,
today.
I want to go across to General J.D. Bakshi, but I just wanted to make a point, because General J.D. Bakshi, the last time when you intervened and you said you can't cock a snook at the courts and at this person and that, you can't cock a snook, General Bakshi, at the public, right?
Yeah.
You can't cock a snook at the public. Yeah, I mean, and you know what, General Bakshi, the irony, General Bakshi, I just want to make a small point. I'm handing it over to you. One small point, there are some people who are saying on social media, ill-informed people, saying muzzling of the press has nothing to do with abetment to suicide. They don't know the facts of the case. They don't know what the Chief Judicial Magistrate has said. They don't know what a closure report is. They don't know anything, head or tail of the case from 2018 and 2019, right? And they are the same people who talk about fake news, and they're the same people who claim to be champions about freedom of press. General Bakshi, and I want to toss to you with one last point. We're getting in so many queries. One person whose name I don't know, I'm going to open his WhatsApp picture to see, because you usually get an indication of that person's name. I think his first name is Raman. Raman seems to be a senior citizen from the picture that I see on his WhatsApp display image. He says, and I quote, he says, "You might not know me. Please tell us how Arnab is. Has anyone been allowed to speak? We are worried. It is important that Republic viewers need to know." He says, and I quote, "It is great to see you guys standing together as a team. A new beginning in India." And he says something, I won't say the word, but he says, "Dash the other channels. We miss him a lot, just like Rabia Khan. We are all praying." So, Mr. Raman, Arnab is fine. He gets to speak to his lawyers, and he gets to make one call to his family. And trust me, he's doing just fine. He's doing just fine. He's doing fantastic. He's in the best of spirits. And when he comes out, I won't say what's going to happen. I'll just tell you that we will be re-energized. It's going to be a better 2.0 sort of a beginning. General Bakshi.
Over one individual and one channel. Arnab is not an individual, he is an institution. And now, where you very rightly pointed out, I mean, yes, he's cocked a snook at the central government, he's cocked a snook at the court. He's also cocked a snook at the 1.3 billion people of India. He tells them, "I hold you fellows in contempt. I can get you killed anytime. There are so many suicides happening in Maharashtra. There will be many more suicides like this," is what he seems to be threatening. "I'll get you arrested anytime, tortured anytime. I'll get you bumped off anytime. I'll get you thrown from the 13th floor anytime. I will put you behind the bars. If you talk too loud, I will get the bulldozers and bulldoze your house down." This is Mafia Raj. This is Gunda Raj. We are now hereby the servants of the D Company. Like hell. Like hell.
Yeah.
You think the people, 1.3 billion people of India are going to be terrorized by a bunch of goons? You are not even in the central government.
Jal
You
Bakshi.
should have waited till you were in Delhi. You are imposing emergency 2.0.
Jal Bakshi, if you don't mind. Jal Bakshi, if you don't mind, I have 60 seconds left on the debate. Can I give the last word to Rabia Khan with your permission? Because she's spoken just once. With your permission, I want to give Rabia Khan the last word. Because I have 60 seconds left on the debate. Rabia ji, first of all, thank you very much. And like you, we are also disturbed. But you know what? I was disturbed when I saw what I saw with people with automatic rifles, AK-47s, M16s, commandos. We're all disturbed. But you know what? We know we're doing the right thing, and that's what keeps us going. We're all smiling. See, we're happy. We're strong. Please be strong, Rabia ji.
Yeah, but what I fear, they are capable of anything. They kill people and they say that they have committed suicide. So, you know, we are dealing with gangsters, we are dealing with dictators and tyrants. So that is why I fear for him and I pray for him. And I want everyone to please come on the street and fight and get him out right now.
Courts are washing, Rabia ji. Courts of law, courts of public opinion. Like Arnab says, he usually finishes off with that line. Every press release of ours, you would have seen the last line says, courts of law and the courts of public opinion.
After my daughter, if ever I have cried, is for Arnab, because he is one person who is truthful and who's standing by truth, and we all are with him in solidarity. That's my message to everyone.
We will. Rabia ji, we will. And we know we have your support. We have the support of each and every panelist on this show. Lord Ravi Ranger, Sardar RP Singh, Prachi, Kartikeya, Mamta, Jal Bakshi. We will fight. And we know everyone's fighting with us. That's all we need to know. Thank you very much. Abhishek, thank you.
We are very proud of each one of you. We are
Yes.
very proud of you.
Thank you, thank you.
Very proud of you.
Thank you,
You
Mamta.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you from Sagarika and me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.